Perfect. Terry saying yes. Andrea's saying yes. And Raj is saying yes. Great. Okay, so guys, welcome to the live masterclass on how to trade cryptos like a pro with myself, Gavin, the host, and the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Andy Demi. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, mate. I've got to say, it's been a long day. I've been up since crazy o'clock with these.
Yep.
I've got 3 kids waking me up, basically, so I've got no hope.
Awesome. Well, look, people are joining in. Whilst they're still joining in, I know in the live free show that we do in our free private group on Facebook, the Crypto and FX Traders Club, we ran out of time to break down Ethereum. We did a full breakdown on Bitcoin. So let's dive into that because it's something that we promised.
Yeah.
And obviously the charts are looking quite interesting at the moment. Bitcoin, as we speak, is around that 40,000 level, and Ethereum's around the 2223 level. So it'd be interesting to see where we go from here in the short term. So whilst people are still logging in for this event, let's just go through the charts on Ethereum, and then we're going to get started straight away, guys, with the presentation. Any questions that you've got, wait till the end, and then we'll pick them up. Just pop them in the chat, and then we'll make sure that we go through the questions. We've got about 20 to 30 minutes at the end of the presentation, so Andy and I will stick around to answer all and any questions that you've got about cryptos, and whether it's for you. So yeah, just put your questions in the chat and we'll make sure that we get through them. So Andy's got the chart up and we're ready to go. Thank you very much for joining us live wherever you are around the world. Let's get it on, Mr. Demi.
Awesome. Thanks, Gav. Yeah, so as Gavin said, we ran out of time the other day, and I think it's a good opportunity for us to have a look. You know, the first thing I'm going to say, actually, guys, is right now, for me, it's an awesome time for trading the markets. It's not as clear cut for investing in the markets, and that's what I'm going to kind of show you right now. But for trading, there's a lot of opportunities, because when the markets are ranging, or when there's uncertainty about whether the market is going up or down, it means that we tend to move and create key turning points in the market that allow us to basically take some quick profits and then come out. And I've been doing that a lot, and I've been posting some of those trades in the group, so you may have seen some of those trades. So, you know, with that being said, I'm going to kind of focus here my attention on the bigger market, and because we're only going to spend a couple of minutes, but you can kind of take the same approach with pretty much most markets. They're doing something similar. So, you know, when you kind of look at, for example, if we go to like the hourly time frame, and you kind of look at that and you think, well, that's an uptrend, right? So therefore we should only be buying. But then when you actually take a look at the bigger time frame here, you can actually see that the market is, you know, you can kind of box it in here, like it's really just really doing that. And it hasn't really proven anything. In fact, if you kind of look at, and this can change actually very quickly, it can change as quickly as tomorrow. But right now, what you want to kind of focus on is the facts, right? Not emotion. And if you just kind of just look at the market from this point of view, right? We're basically been making these kind of generally lower lows. We've got a potential double bottom there, where the market could have a much bigger push up. That's certainly possible. But for us to really kind of really start focusing on that and trying to make money from that, we really want to see a break of these highs, and ideally like a nice solid close like that. And then I'm going to start to get a lot more bullish, at least for the sort of medium term. But we are right now at a key point, and you can see that there is this diagonal resistance we have this horizontal resistance, and the market is just battling to break through here. And, you know, I like to take advantage of this battle by selling high and buying low, and then just coming out. You know, I posted a trade earlier in our group where I basically took a short, took my profit, came out, and then I'm done. Like it's just, I don't care what happens next. And there will be some situations where the market does collapse and goes a lot lower. But right now, this market is uncertain, and I'm just looking to take advantage of the volatility. And that's kind of what we do as traders. That's what we teach, how to make money as traders. When you're investing, you want to kind of ideally buy at support. Okay, so you want to be buying ideally at these levels, at these support areas and this support area. That's kind of more the type of thing you want to be doing. So you want to be buying as it goes down, accumulating. And even if it carried on going down, you know, if you believe in the long term, then it doesn't matter. But as traders, we can't do that. As traders, we are going to be looking to make money as the market goes down. So right now, if this holds, so let's say we don't break and we hold and we create this kind of shooting star or some kind of bearish formation, I'm going to be looking to sell this. There's no emotion, there's no sentiment. Do I like Ethereum as a project? Yes. Am I invested in it long term? Yes. But am I emotional about it going higher right now? No. We are focused on, you know, ABC. In other words, like whatever it's showing me, I'm just going to focus on where the opportunities are. And the reality is, you know, honestly speaking, most days I make money trading, most days. So probably maybe 9 days out of 10, I'm basically making positive P&L. So that kind of gives you an insight into what the opportunity is right now as a trader. When the market is in this phase, trading is still important, but it's not as important because pretty much anything you buy is going up. But when you are in this phase, this is where you want to learn the skills to be able to make returns. So I think that's kind of enough for now. I want to get started because we're going to have about an hour to get through the presentation. And then, as Gavin said, we're going to spend, you know, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes at the end answering any questions that you have. So whether that be about our crypto program, which some of you guys have inquired about, or whether that be just general advice about cryptocurrencies, we'll do our best to kind of guide you. Or basically anything related to cryptos, we'll do our best to answer. So that kind of summarizes everything. Are we okay to start? Is there anything else, Gavin, that you want me to cover here?
No, we're good. So like I said before that, guys, just make sure you put your questions in the comment section, and then we'll go through those questions. If we do get a ton of questions, we might ask you to repost the questions. But apart from that, if everybody's ready, let's get started.
Great. I know we have got a lot of people that are based in different regions who have already sent us an email saying that they can they get the recording. There will be a recording of this available, I believe probably by tomorrow. So if you're watching the recording and you do have any questions, obviously we're not going to be able to answer them live. But you can reach out to us and we'll do our best to help you. So let me just kind of move this out of the way and bring in our presentation. And guys, I'm not going to be looking at the questions because I'm going to be focused on the presentation. I'm just going to take away my video just to make sure that everything, I don't know if you guys can actually see me. Am I on? I am on. Yeah. So I'm just going to remove stop video now. So you should just be able to see my screen. And I want to get you guys excited about crypto trading and essentially the next steps of your trading journey. So just one quick question, guys. Who here is already trading crypto, so maybe you can class yourself as intermediate or advanced, and who here is a complete beginner. Just type in B for beginner, I for intermediate, A for advanced. Just gives me a bit of an insight as to how quick I can go and the level of depth I can go tonight. If we have a lot of beginners, I'll try and do things a little bit slower. Great. So I can see some people answering in the question and answer, some people answering in the chat. Generally, if you can, just use the chat. But Leroy, I see your answer there as well. So you're a beginner in cryptos, but an advanced in FX. That's great. You'll be able to use a lot of your knowledge. Some of your knowledge will be transferable for sure. And so we have mostly beginners and intermediates. Yeah, so that's great. That's perfect. So, you know, you're in the right place. Great stuff. So beginners, intermediate, beginners, intermediate. All right, great. Okie dokie. So today I'm going to be sharing with you basically how I turned $30,000 into $180,000 in just 3 months. And I'm going to be sharing with you my secrets that I've learned on the trading floors of major hedge funds and how you can learn how to 5x, 10x, or even 100x your investments in cryptocurrencies. I believe that this is one of the most unique opportunities that we might ever experience in our lifetime. And I really want to share what my knowledge is of the financial markets in general, so my background, and also what I believe right now is an amazing opportunity to learn a skill that is still relatively untapped. So it's an asset class that's still relatively untapped. And that's what's exciting about getting involved right now. So let's get going, guys. So you're going to discover my exact system that I've used to grow my account by 600% in 3 months. The account actually did get even better, which I'm going to share with you a little bit later. You're going to understand the exact criteria that I use to uncover hidden gems that are about to explode higher. I still use exactly this methodology today. You're going to find out how to develop your edge and apply the right strategy at the right time to maximize your returns. So for those that don't know who I am, I want to share with you why you should listen to me. So I've traded the markets for over a decade for some of the biggest banks and hedge funds in London, including JP Morgan, Schroders, and Barcap. I've previously managed a $200 million account for a hedge fund in London. I am regularly interviewed on British television, financial programs, and also at investor shows for my views on the markets. I lecture at Middlesex University in London for their degree in finance, and you can actually find the London Trade Institute on their website as one of their partners. I'm also the co-founder of the London Trading Institute. Now, before we dive into the presentation, I just want to share with you that I'm no particular genius. In fact, the honest truth is I did struggle at trading for years before I finally found success. Back then, I didn't understand the blueprint that I needed to succeed. I was kind of shooting in the dark and I had no set plan. I was struggling to make consistent profit. So I understood a lot. I learned a lot. And back then when I started, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all these tools that we have today. But in my opinion, what I was actually struggling with is to have a set strategic plan with set rules that I could follow. I was kind of overwhelmed with too much information. So it basically meant I was inconsistent. So I got my lucky break in 2004. So a very, very long time ago, where I got a position on the trading floors in London. And this is actually me looking much, much younger than what I am today. And this is in the City building for those that are in London in Moorgate. So this was my first trading position. I got my mentor who taught me the insider secrets of trading like a bank. So early on, I was really fortunate. You see, if you've read textbooks or gone on YouTube, most likelihood is you've probably learned how to trade like a retail trader. But unfortunately, most retail traders lose money. So you want to be trading more like the banks. And I got to learn exactly how to do that from an early age. So from here, I went on to make my first six-figure trade in FX, making over $123,380, which was a huge amount of money for me at that time. Now, this was for a company, just to be kind of transparent. This was not going in my pocket. And then I experienced my first seven-figure day, netting just over $1.5 million, which again was mind-blowing for me. I couldn't believe what was possible by trading these markets. And everything was almost perfect, and I was having the time of my life, but there was just one problem. I was working 15 hours a day, and my brain never stopped thinking about the markets. And this didn't really fit with the lifestyle that I wanted. So I wanted to make a lot of money, but I also wanted a lifestyle, time to enjoy it. So I wanted to try something new. And the reality is it was tiring, exhausting, and just not sustainable. So I decided I left the city trading floors with all the money I'd saved. Okay, so for all my commissions I was getting for my trading, I put it all into a trading account, and I was ready to take on the world and go it alone. And in my first 2 months, it was great. It was absolutely great. Okay, I wasn't trading the same kind of size that I was trading with the institutions. I was trading my own personal money that I'd saved. And, and by the way, you might be thinking, how did I save so much money? Well, I was living at home. I didn't have any real expenses, and I was earning a lot of money from the city. And that's kind of how I did it. So I funded my account with 250K. I went to 400K. So I grew the account to 400K within 2 months. And I was like, wow, I am in cloud 9 right now. And I thought, wow, I'm going to turn this into $1 million. I'm going to be, I'm going to be rich. And I was like excited, like a kid, naive, let's say. And that's when it kind of completely fell apart. I got greedy, I got overconfident. So I know some of you guys might resonate with this. And I basically blew the lot. I blew everything. And I was literally distraught. And I knew that I had a decision to make. Am I going to go back to the city? I'm going to be shamed. Am I going to quit this industry and just do something else? I'm not made for it. It was just like all these things were going through my head. I had a lot of explaining to do to my spouse about what had happened. Anyway, I was at complete rock bottom. Now, for most people, the reality is that you would want to quit, right? You would want to quit. And I was no different. And if you ask enough professional traders who are successful, you'll find that most of them have gone through some kind of disaster like this. Now, I'm not saying, guys, that you need to go through a disaster like this. In fact, I'm not recommending it. It doesn't feel good. But I'll be honest, if I didn't go through it, I think I was meant to go through it personally, because I maybe was young, naive, with an ego, thinking that I could just do what I wanted and I had control. But actually the market taught me a big lesson, and it taught me about the importance of discipline. Discipline is everything. And so now if you ask me and you see how I trade, you'll never hear me thinking about just how much money am I going to make. It's always like, how much money am I willing to lose? Really? Are you really willing to lose that amount? Don't just go with a big position because you're so sure about the trade. And it really has changed something fundamentally inside me, that experience, that I now pass on to you guys. And this is what I continuously tell my students. So from greed to overconfidence, the reality is over the years, I've made more mistakes than most traders will ever read about. But it's these bad times that definitely have made me a much better trader and also a much better mentor right now. So having a mentor I could go to probably saved my career as a trader, because I was ready to give it all up. He helped me learn from my mistakes and taught me how to have the right mindset and discipline to make consistent profits over the long term. Fast forward a few years after this big setback, I was headhunted for a position to manage a $200 million trading account and a team of pro traders for a hedge fund in London. I couldn't believe my luck, but also I was like absolutely scared. You can say the next word, but I was very fearful of taking on this on, but I knew I had no choice. I had to say yes and just deal with it. So I knew at this point I'd made it back. And, you know, getting this position, I was kind of like, well, I'm going to stay on the institutional path. Yes, I have to work a lot of hours, but just enjoy it, make money, and just have a career, have a long-term career, stay in the city. That's kind of what I said to myself. And then one day I was asked to teach some of the struggling junior traders who weren't making money and wanted to improve. And I needed to focus on basically, I was asked to focus on what it is that they were doing wrong and basically sit and observe what they were doing. And you know, the reality is initially I was very resistant to it. I was like, you know, I need to make my own money. I've got a family to feed. I don't really need this. But, you know, I kind of thought, well, when I needed help, I had my mentor and I felt like it was my duty to pay it forward. And so I agreed to do it. And over the following months, the joy I got from helping the juniors make money uncovered my passion for coaching. And this is the reason that I decided to set up the London Trading Institute to teach people the right approach, you know, without the hype, without all the BS, but actually teaching you real things that you need to learn and develop, not just in technique, but also as a person to be able to successfully make a living and more than a living from financial trading. Now, if you fast forward to today, and because of trading, I can honestly say to you that I have an amazing lifestyle, an amazing life. Because not only it's not about the financial gains anymore, I also have the time to enjoy my, you know, the wealth that I build through trading. I live in my dream house. I drive my dream car. I travel the world with my family. Okay. I've been to most places around the world. I got to marry my soulmate. This lady actually was what pushed me into trading about 18 years ago when I had zero money. And, you know, she basically bought me a course and almost forced me to get into trading. She kind of said, well, I think you'll be really good at this. I think you should do it. So that's kind of literally what happened. And I've put here, I've got two beautiful daughters, but I need to update this slide because now I've just had a baby a few days ago. So I now have three beautiful daughters. And I get to contribute and make a difference to those that need it the most. And I've got my time back. That's the most important thing for me. It's about now having that time to enjoy the time that I am with my family. And then also I love what I do. I love coaching, I love trading, and it's just building a life that's on your terms, not on somebody else's terms. And you can absolutely do this in a very short period of time, a lot shorter than what you believe is possible. Now, for the rest of the presentation, guys, I'm going to be focusing and sharing with you the crypto opportunity that is available to you. I sincerely believe that correctly trading and investing cryptocurrencies has the power to create enough wealth, not just for you and your family, but for generations to come. That's how big I think this is bigger than the internet. I think it's 10x the internet. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much I believe in this space. Today, I'm going to share with you the crypto formula that I've discovered to make big returns whilst keeping risk at a minimum. Now, crypto is not like FX, stocks, or commodities. So before I could teach crypto trading, I needed to prove my methods could work. So to make it interesting, I set myself a challenge to hit 100K profit in 3 months, starting with just $30,000. Now, I believe that, steadily growing an account is the way forward, but there's so much volatility in cryptos that normally, when I take a trade in FX, I might end up with a 2-to-1 trade, right? A reward to risk of 2-to-1. Often the same type type of trade with the same type of risk, I could end up with a 10-to-1 with cryptos. That's why you can grow the account fast. Now, right now, the markets are going sideways, but at some point when they start to explode higher again, there's going to be so much opportunity to really, again, do something similar to what I've done. So in 3 months, I grew 30K to 180K. And since then, I've basically grown it to 279K. Okay. And what I've basically done is I've utilized margin and then invested it into spot for the long term. So that's what I recommend. So use the futures, use the margin where you can basically leverage, okay, borrow by borrowing. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then with the money that you make, you put it into spot and then you store it. And that's basically what I've been doing. And so now I continue to do that. I make money on my futures account and then I put it into long-term investments. Okay, I'm not going out with it. I'm not spending it on anything. I'm literally just continuously accumulating and accumulating, because these projects, once they become mainstream, they could be worth 100x more easily. Okay, because this is just the beginning, as I was saying before. Now, what's crazy about all of this is that I've done this, risking no more than 2% per trade. Okay, that's my rule. And I often don't even use the 2%. Normally it's half or 1%, but I allow myself to take up to 2% per trade, trading just 1 to 2 hours per day. And despite the recent correction in the market, I was still able to grow my account by using hedging, adding protection, and shorting by making money on the way down. In fact, I was short Bitcoin from about 58,000 before the big drop to 30K. I took profit around the 40K mark. And I was actually anticipating at that time that 40K would be a good buying point. But as you saw, the market went down to about 29. Okay, and that's been the low so far. Now, you might be wondering, can this work for me if I'm a complete beginner with no experience whatsoever? 100% yes. 100% yes. So I know some of you guys already said that you're complete beginners. It absolutely can work for you. The amazing thing is that my process is scalable and repeatable and can be modeled. That's the key thing. You need to be able to model what I do, not copy, model. Very important. There's a big distinction there, because you cannot be me and I cannot be someone else, but you can take the core rules and principles and then make them your own. That's the key to success. Another thing you might be wondering is, how much money do you need to get started? Well, now we've got a lot of successful students, and some of them have started with as little as $500. Now, of course, you're not going to turn $500 into $1 million overnight, right? Okay, or even 100K overnight, but it's enough to get you started. And as you'll see in a minute, with $500, you can do amazing things within cryptos. So like busy housewife and novice trader Eleanor, who doubled her $500 account in the first 14 days. And you can kind of see some more screenshots since then, where she's taken some trades, 123% on one, which is Harmony, 50% on ZIL, 30% on ICX, total profit £797. Okay, so Eleanor since has funded her account with more funds than 500, but she started off with 500 just to kind of get comfortable. And she said, I've paid a fortune in university fees that didn't deliver half of the content that this program provided, and his experience is top notch. And I don't think that there's anyone better to be delivering this course. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. And my goal now is to provide financial freedom for my family. Or like fellow newbie and ex-military man Tony, who had turned $500 into almost 4,000 in 2 months. And he actually went on to grow that even further in the following months. I think he was up to about 7K. So you'll find Tony in our group. And or like total beginner Shadi, who set a target that he achieved way earlier than expected. So he made a profit of $20,766.40 in his first month. He started with a 10K account. So he didn't start with 500, he started with 10K, but still amazing profits, at a very early stage. Now, today we're going to learn the 4 secrets that I've used to make 600% ROI in just 3 months that my students have also used to get similar results. And at the end, I'm also, if you stay until the end, if you are here live, That's the most important thing. If you're here live and stay until the end, I'm going to send you a video of one of my long-term crypto investments that I believe has the potential to 100x over the next, well, I don't want to give you a timeline, but let's say in the next 1 to 2 years, I believe it can easily 100x. So I will get that video sent over to you by just staying until the end of the presentation. That's my gift to you. So here are the 4 things we're going to cover, okay, in the next sort of 20, 25 minutes. We're going to talk about market timing. We're going to talk about borrowing. We're going to talk about portfolio management, and we're going to talk about how to value a coin. So let's start, guys, because we have a lot to get through. So how do we use charting tools to identify buy and sell points in the markets? Well, I have a rule of 3. Okay, I have a rule of 3, and it's basically a rule that is quite simple. I need to have at least 3 valid reasons. Very important that they're valid, not made up. These are written on paper in a plan. 3 valid reasons why I should take a trade. Otherwise, I can't take the trade. So what we are doing is we are building a wall of confluence. So that's what you want to do. So it's like if you have 1 reason, it's paper thin. A second reason is a little bit stronger. A third reason, it's building now into a strong wall. 4th or 5th or 6th, that's even better. Okay, it's going to be hard. It's going to be much higher probability if you have more and more reasons. Okay, and we're going to identify turning points in the market using this. Now, you have a minimum of 3 reasons of where to buy and sell. Now, this is really fundamental. You need to avoid FOMO because it's really, really tempting to jump into the market. So FOMO, for those that are new, is the fear of missing out. It's tempting to jump in, right? By using the correct tools and a systematic approach, you can grow your account consistently and over the long term. Look, I'll tell you something. I was, you know, as I said at the beginning of this presentation, you know, I'm probably winning 9 days out of 10. So like, but every now and I'll take a loss. And I took a trade when Bitcoin the other day. If you've been following Bitcoin, it's now kind of around 40K, but it was just starting to push up and it got to about 34.5. And I thought to myself, well, there's a massive resistance at 35. I think we're going to pull back now to 32.5. So I took a trade and I put my stop at quite a conservative stop. So I didn't go with a massive position and I put it above 36 and it, you know, I woke up and it just blew through it. Right. And I took a loss. And I got up and I looked at the charts and I was like, oh man, that's a big move. Didn't expect that. And the first thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to jump in. It's just natural human tendency. But I looked at the markets and I was like, well, this is like, there's no edge here. There's no edge. There's no information telling me that I'm more probable to take a winning trade than a losing trade. So I'm just going to be gambling here. So I'm going to wait. So what I did instead was I spent some time, I analyzed the chart, and then I set my alert points, my key points of interest, which is the kind of things I'm going to show you today. And then I waited, and literally the worst possible timing, I got my alert at 8 o'clock where I had guests round, where I had like the kids ready to get to bed. And I thought, Mike, I've waited all day for this. And now I get the alert. So I told Gavin the other day, I literally ran upstairs into my office. I looked at my chart, I was like, brilliant, that's the price I'm getting in. But I already planned the trade. I took the trade, put the stop, put the target, and then I went off to deal with the kids. And literally I came back and the market collapsed. You know, I posted it in our group. You can see it if you're a part of the crypto and FX trade. The market collapsed. And it pretty much went straight to my target. And I made just over 1K on that trade. But it literally, like, if I didn't take that trade, I would have been really annoyed. But that's kind of like, this is what I'm saying. So you need to avoid FOMO. You need to follow your plan, follow your rules. And timing is critical because if I just jumped in, I would have ended up being stopped out. But because I waited on that trade, I got in at the right price, and I ended up catching the whole move. Now, I'm not going to get into all of these things here. We don't have enough time, but this is basically a summary of all of the tools that I use in my trading. I'm going to show you how to use some of these tools right now using a case study that I've built for you guys. So the case study is on Cardano. So this is a real trade that I took, and I built it up before. I posted it in our group, and then we waited for the price to come down. So I'm going to show you how to do this so that you can go away and start to think. So for those guys that already have some skills in trading, you might want to go and start looking at replicating some of these things. Now, I'm going to show you basically how to build a wall of confidence part by part. So remember, we need at least 3 reasons, guys. So let's start. So here is Cardano, okay? ADA, Cardano, okay? One of the most popular cryptocurrencies. And we have a market here that is trending upwards. And so what do? I plot my custom moving average to this market, and I identify that the last time we came down, the market acted as support. So you can see here, the market acted as support. So it's reasonable to believe that it might act as support again. So that is one of the reasons that we could use on this chart for potentially finding a buy zone. Now I've just added another tool, my super trend. And this, interestingly, is also at a similar price point. So it's not exact. And by the way, we're just building blocks here. Okay, we're not finding exact entries right now. We're just building evidence. And there's another reason there. This could be a support area. Let's carry on. Then I draw a horizontal line where we find the last resistance point. So the markets love to find past resistance that become future support. So the market loves these kind of levels that haven't been acted as support yet. So there's a third reason. Let's carry on. Then I've just drawn in my up trend line. So I've connected these points here, and we have an up trend line. Again, at a very similar point. Can you get the picture now? How many things have we got? Uptrend, the custom moving average, the super trend, the trend line up, right? The horizontal line, that's 5. So we now have a buy zone. This is the buy zone. Now, most people would be jumping in here. Most people would be jumping in. And sometimes this happens. Not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oh, every time it doesn't go like that. Sometimes this happens, especially if the market's kind of a runaway market and everything's going up. Most people are getting lucky and they're just buying randomly and it's just going up. However, if you want to make serious money from doing this, here's what you need to do. You need to wait for your buy zone. So what you say to yourself is, it either goes to my buy zone, right? Or I don't take the trade. Now, if you invest in this, it's different. As an investor, you could buy some here, you could buy some here, you could buy some here, a bit lower, a bit higher. You're averaging in, right? It's a completely different thing. Because if you believe Cardano is going to be $10, $20 in the future, well, does it really matter if you bought some at 170, some at 1, some at 1.2, some at, in the grand scheme of things, no. But as a trader, we have to time the market. And the thing is, as traders, we can make a lot of money very quickly. So you don't need it to go to $10. You just need to get in at the right price. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. So here's what happened, everybody. This is the plan I was expecting. So I've drawn my Fibonacci. It's come back into my red zone. So the target was going to be up here somewhere. And this is what happened. The market spiked down. It went straight into our buy zone. And it actually went even higher than what I was expecting. It got to 67% within 24 hours. 67% within 24 hours. Now, you probably can't even appreciate how big that move is, because it's not just, say if you invested in it, that's one thing, you make 67%. As a trader, you can use leverage, you can use a stop. you could have made probably 300, 400, 500% within 24 hours on that trade easily, and even more, even 1,000%, depending on where you place your stop. So you can see like a stop below here would have been enough. So you could have been risking this much and you could have made this much. Now that's the perfect scenario. And even if you got out there, it's still a massive, you know, there's at least a 5x there. Hopefully this is kind of resonating and making sense. So if you use the right tools, you're much more likely to grow your account consistently. And you must be patient. You must wait for the key levels to come into play before you take the trade. Okay, so following a set of rules creates structure and a base for consistent profits. Now, it's critical that you use the correct tools with the correct strategy to maximize your profit potential and avoid hype, FOMO, and stress when trading. If you're stressed out, if you don't know when you should get in and when you should not get in, you are not trading the right way. You are not trading with rules. You're not trading with consistency, and you're not going to make consistent money. You're probably going to be like what I was at the beginning, basically inconsistent. Now, this is another type of trade here. This is a momentum trade, something that I posted in our private group, where I was basically literally, it was about to go. I got the turning point. I had these are the things that I had here. We use different tools for different types of trades, and everything was ready to go. So I literally got in. So with these kind of momentum trades, you've got to get in at market, and pretty much straight after that post, the market ran up super fast. So we had 5 reasons there. It was up 30%. You can see at that time I was super excited with that. But you know, unless you know how to do it, sometimes with these momentum trades, you're not going to have time. But for those that don't have time, you're going to be able to use some of the swing trading strategies where you don't have to be in front of your screens. Now, what's really key here, guys, especially in the current market, is you need to also be short the market. So in other words, you need to make money by selling the market, because it's not always going to be going up. So this is an example where I had some technical reasons why I should go short Ripple XRP at 134.60. Now, I'm going to show you some examples of like how I was buying this at much cheaper rates, but right now I had an opportunity to sell it, so there's no emotion. Even though I was invested in this for the long term up, I was looking to make money on the downside. So we got to 134.60, and on this occasion, I was marrying my technicals with order flow. So order flow is basically a big part of my secret sauce. And what I identified was that whales were selling at 135. So I jumped in just in front of them for an easy move down. So here's a screenshot of what I was looking at. And what this basically shows us is there was a huge amount of orders at 135. So basically confirming, right, that there was, you know, the supply was matching the technicals, and that really confirmed I could get in at a really good price, and I can go in with a tight stop because I knew I had all this protection. So basically this market couldn't go any higher until these orders were taken up, and there was about 2.25 million there. So it was I knew it was going to be hard for this wall to break. So I ended up taking the trade, and then I watched it, and you know what I was looking for is to see if it was going to break, and it didn't break, and the market basically went down. Now, here's, you know, for people that think, God, I need to have a lot of money. Look at my risk here, guys. I was risking $141 because I went with a really tight stop, and I had a realistic goal of making just over $1,000. So question to you guys, who would be happy to risk $141 to make over 1,000? I would assume all of you would, right? So this is the key. It's low risk, high reward. So here's what happened, guys. The market held perfectly and it went down as predicted. Now, what I love about these types of trades, and again, if you are part of our crypto group, you'll see this all the time. My favorite type of trades, they go instantly into profits. In fact, I'm going to post one of my trades that I took today. I'll post it tomorrow morning. So if you're in our group, you'll see it. And you'll see exactly, you know, this one I made, the one today, I made about $700 on it. It was 2 trades, one on BTC and one on ETH. But the key thing with it is it's instant profits. When it's not instant, I almost know it's not going to work. So I just close the trade immediately, normally. So normally my trades go immediately. And this was no different. So here in 5 minutes, I was up $262 in 5 minutes. And then in about 2 hours, I was up $820. And to be honest, you can actually see the time there. So you can see I'm not making it up. It was 10:08, and I normally go to bed about 9:30. I like to unwind about 9:30, and it was already past my bedtime. And I'm thinking, I've got $200 to go. Am I going to seriously sit up and wait for this now for $200? My sleep is worth more. So I closed it. I wasn't willing to let the market go back all the way. Now, what you can also do is you can manage it, you control your stop, you can do all those kind of things. But I was happy with that. Look, I risked 141 and I made 820. So I closed the trade. It did in fact go down lower. And if I'd stayed in it, I would have made the initial target of $1,041. So by using the right tools, you are able to get quick profits with low risk. Okay, so today's trade, I was risking $250 on each trade. I made $700 in about, give or take, about 45 minutes. And yesterday, something similar, it took about, the one the other day was like even quicker. It was like half an hour. So it is critical, you know, basically correctly using the right tools gives you quick profits with low risk. And this is critical to avoid unnecessary drawdown and what the crypto family call weak hands. For me, this really suits my style. I like to make quick profits. Now, for others, we need to adjust your plan. Maybe you're a bit more patient, maybe it doesn't suit you, but it's really important that you trade with your personality. And that's a real critical part. Now, guys, I'm going to speed things up a little bit. We're going to get into secret number 2, which is borrowing to invest, but you must really understand what you're doing in this part. So margin trading, okay, margin trading allows you to 10x or even 100x your investment when done correctly. Would you borrow money at 5% interest if you could make 300% back? Some people really struggle with borrowing, but think of it like this. We all, you know, we borrow when we buy a house. Most of us do, right? Even if you've got the cash, right? I would still borrow because you can use your cash to make a lot more money than 2, 3, 4% that you're going to pay. So I'll give you an example of a live case study of Bitcoin, of how it can be very different when you invest with margin. Now, I want to stress, it's important that you do this at the right time. Okay, so you need to be sure that the market, you need to get those confirmations that the market is trending up before you do this. But I want to give you some insights as to what difference it can make so that you can learn from it. So let's have a look at this. So if we take an example here of Bitcoin, if you had $10,000 to invest and wanted to buy Bitcoin at 40,000, you'd receive 0.25 Bitcoin, right? A quarter of a Bitcoin. And if you had a target of 100K, you'd basically be looking to make about 15K, which is not bad, right? So you invest 10, you're looking to make 15. And that's absolutely fine. Now, what if you used your 10K to borrow 3x your capital? So you can easily do that with any crypto exchange. You can borrow off your capital. Same work, same trade, but the difference is more profit, right? So you target the 100K, but now you have 3 times your position size and you potentially make 45K, right? Now, this type of strategy is amazing once the trend is confirmed. And that's really what I was doing a lot of when the trend was up. And then I was investing it and being safe, which is what we recommend that you do. So you don't stay leveraged, you use leverage, make money and put it back into spot, which is safe. So essentially a 10K investment, risk management plus margin, you have a potential 450% instead of 150%. So using margin can be a great way to increase your account fast, but please only do it once you fully understand how to make it work for you. So for your complete beginner and you haven't had any support or mentoring or any education, you want to avoid this until you do, because it can be very dangerous and people over leverage and don't understand the risks, and you can lose your capital. Now, a big part of how I've grown my account is this secret number 3, which is portfolio management. If you want to grow your account fast and keep your risks small, you need to master portfolio management. So what is portfolio management? Well, it's the process of identifying the best place for your money to work hardest for you right now. Correct capital allocation leads to more profits and less drawdown. It is fundamental to how I've grown my account so fast. And it is the principle of moving funds from one crypto to another crypto, depending on where you feel the opportunity is. So sometimes you get a crypto that has been pumped up, some news has come out and you've been in that trade, and then you hold on and you hold on and you hold on, and suddenly it comes all the way back down, right? People have probably experienced that if you're in cryptos, for sure. What you want to do is you need to understand that actually, hold on a minute, I've had a really big push up. Why don't I take 75% of my profit off, take that cash and then go invest it somewhere else and just keep a small position just in case it carries on? That is part of portfolio management. So you need to know when to move into cash and when to be long, when to be short. It is really using those skills to identify, where your money is going to work hardest for you. Because holding a coin has an opportunity cost. So here's an example. For the same period, if you'd invested in ADA, Cardano, it moved up 5% in 3 weeks. And you think, okay, well, 5% in 3 weeks, you've got to be happy with that. Well, if you'd invested in Ripple, XRP, you would have made 147% in the same exact period. So that's what I'm saying. There is an opportunity cost, and you must understand exactly what you are investing in before you do and what the opportunity is. And so this is where, what people are doing is they're investing in everything and they don't realize that they're putting a lot of risk on the table. We want to keep our risk low. And if you keep your risk low, then you have a much better probability of staying in the game, which is what we want to do. We don't want to over risk. Now, this is an example of one of the trades that I took in Ripple. So I was buying Ripple at 52 cents before it exploded higher. Okay. And you can see here, these are my orders in Binance. You can see 51 cents, 54 cents, 50 cents. So these are the prices I was accumulating at that time. And I basically made just over 36 grand in 3 weeks. And here's the kicker, using none of my own money. How? Well, I actually borrowed the dollars. So I borrowed the money through my exchange and I used it to basically buy Ripple, and I paid $57 of interest to do that. So I literally paid $57.58 of interest and I made over 36K. That is the power of leverage. That is the power of borrowing. So I think the answer is obvious, but who would be happy to pay $57 of interest to make over 36K? And that was in 3 weeks. Okay, so that was obviously a big, big push towards my account growing so fast. Now, finally, guys, secret number 4 is how to value a coin. How do you know when a coin is cheap? How do you know if a coin is expensive? Let me show you. So let's go through this. Firstly, don't look at Twitter. Avoid the hype, the FOMO. Don't go onto Facebook groups and start asking randoms who you have no idea if they've got any expertise or knowledge at all. Okay, you're not going to get great tips off these kind of mediums. Most of them are just like you trying to find out information, and they're just pumping their own coins that they've already bought into. So definitely don't trade off tips. Now, a question here. When you look at these two here, we have Stellar at $57, 57 cents, and we have Bitcoin Cash at $666. Which is more expensive? Let me know, guys, what you think is more expensive here. And by the way, I'm just looking at the questions right now, but I'm not, like I said, guys, Gavin will hopefully start collating some of your questions and we'll go back to them. So which one is more expensive? So we've got mixed answers. Most people are saying Bitcoin Cash. Right. Actually, it's not, and I'll explain why. It's actually Stellar. So well done to Peter for getting that right, and whoever else has said Stellar. Because the price does not tell us whether something is cheap or expensive. The market cap tells us whether something is cheap or expensive. So it's really, really important that you look at the market cap. That's why Bitcoin is the most expensive. It's number one. Okay, you can go and look at this on, I've forgotten the name of it now, coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com. You'll see a list of all the top coins by market cap. And Bitcoin is number one by market cap. And I'll explain what that is. Okay, so the price can be whatever, 50 cents or 5 million. It doesn't really matter. Because the market cap is what tells you the potential for growth. And it gives you an apple versus apple comparison. Okay, so let's go through what it means. So market cap in cryptos is essentially, it's the total value of all the coins that have been mined, and it's calculated by multiplying the number of coins in circulation by the current market price of a single coin. So there, with cryptos, basically there's a certain, so something like Bitcoin, there's only a certain amount, so in this case 21 million, that can get mined, and once they are all mined, there's no more to mine, and they're all in circulation. So, and then it's that, however many are in circulation right now, times the price, that will give you the market cap. And that allows you to basically compare cryptos with each other. And the other important thing is circulating supply. Okay, so for those that know basic economics, the supply and the demand, you know, so how many are supplied is going to make a difference to the potential future price. So what does it mean by definition? It is the number of cryptocurrency coins or tokens that are publicly available and circulating in the market. For example, the circulated supply of Bitcoin will gradually increase until the max supply of 21 million coins is reached. Think about this, guys. Bitcoin has a max supply of 21 million. As long as people still want Bitcoin, where is the price going to go? It can only go up, right? If you've got a limited supply and continuous demand, the price can only go up. There's no other way. Unless people decide suddenly they don't want to use Bitcoin anymore and the demand goes, it's just a matter of time that Bitcoin is going up a lot higher. So general rules, low market cap cryptos offer the highest potential for growth. Low supply will help increase the price. Now, I want to share with you something that is quite interesting. Because cryptos are quite new, I want to share with you something that will kind of hopefully really open your eyes up. So if you guys are already involved in cryptos and you're looking at some coins, this is going to really help you. So cryptos have, you know, there's different categories of cryptocurrencies if you're not sure about that. So there's like the decentralized finance, there's non-fungible tokens, there's the stable coins, there's like the currency coins and so on. So what you can do is you can look at each category and you can see who the leaders are. So let's say, for example, here, you have heard about Ecomi and you're really excited about them. You love their project, you've done your research, you've done all the things that you need to do, and you think it's a good investment. And you think, well, you know, it's trading at 0.008 cents. So not even, yeah, I mean, a fraction of a cent. And you're thinking, well, okay, how big can this go? Well, why don't we compare it to the leader? Now, the leader's got a price of $12. So do you think it's going to go from 0.008 to $12? Well, that would just be a little bit insane, right? And it's not the right comparison. What you should be doing is saying, well, hold on a minute. Theta has a market cap of 11.9 billion. Ecomi has 1.13 billion. So this has got the potential for a 10x to just reach the market leader. So we know this is possible. Now, the reality is that all of these cryptos are likely to be much, much higher in the future. But this is just giving you an idea. Well, hold on a minute. If this has got this market cap, then this can definitely get to at least this. So it can give you an immediate idea of, without us breaking into new market cap highs, where it could go. Hopefully that's kind of making sense. So let's go down a little bit down the category, and we find another one here, a long shot, Centric. Now, again, this is just an example, but again, the market cap is tiny of this one. Now, if you compare this to the leader, you've got a potential 1,628x. You don't need to invest a lot of money. If Centric, if after doing your research, you think, wow, Centric has got a lot of things going for it, and its tiny market cap has got a lot of potential. Well, the reality is you could turn $1,000 into 1.628 million just by getting to where the leader is, Theta in this case. So that's why you've seen people with really modest amounts of money make a hell of a lot of money, because this is such a new space. You just need to know what to look for to find these opportunities. So guys, I hope you can already, yes, it's coin market cap, Andrew, I've just seen your question. So I hope you can already see what is possible and how quickly you can succeed once you understand the blueprint. So mastering these 4 things gives you a clear path to building sustainable wealth and impact. Now, I don't know where you are in your mind, but I know that we have been trained to believe that you have to work hard, do the hours in order to get remunerated. But it's old school thinking. And this is how I used to think. And look, I believe you should still work hard, but work smart. Okay, you need to work smart, learn the skills, and then find a system. So the way I'm trading right now, I'm not spending 15 hours a day. I'm doing my analysis for 2-3 hours a week, and then I'm waiting for those alerts. Okay, and when the alerts come, I'm on my desk to take the trade, and that's it. Okay, and that's all you need to do. So it's really a small amount of time. All successful people understand that the quickest way to success is to follow a proven blueprint and to leverage other people's knowledge, which is why I created the 3-month crypto training program, which I'd like to share with you if it might be of interest to you. Okay, and remember, if you stay until the end, and even if this is not for you, you may come back to it. It may be for you in the future, but I will be sending you that video of one of my crypto investments. So what is this course aiming to do? It's going to show you how to reach your goals and how to accelerate and amplify your current income. It's as simple as that. If you want to build this out hands-on together, we are positive we can help you get the results you want quickly. So here's some feedback from some of our students. In my first month of trading cryptos, I started with $10,000 and I've already doubled my account to just over 20,000. Most of it has come purely from what you've shown us in the program of how to identify undervalued coins that are likely to go up in value. So I bought them at spot. Now I'm looking to implement the margin strategies that you teach us because I've done this during if I had done this during my first month, then I could have been up an extra 3 to 5x the amount that I've already made with no extra work required. This was Afi Hussein. John Slack, I'm currently my second month in the program, and I'm happy to say that all the hard work is paying off, as yesterday I made $8,058.48 profit in one day. Julie here says, thank you, Andy Demi. I have to admit that my confidence in trading started to improve as soon as I started sharing my ideas and practicing more. I've now moved from making losses to making 17% in profit in the last 2 days. Looking forward to many more days like these. Lorian White said, I just had a rather big moment. I set the goal of earning my first $500 within 2 weeks. Well, I smashed that target and ended up tripling my account within the first 2 weeks, all with $30 risk per trade and whilst working a full-time job. Amazing job from Lorian. To be honest, when I first heard about Andy, I was unsure, maybe because of the fact that there's a lot of scammers out there. But then I watched the videos, I joined the group, it's not that expensive, and slowly started to have confidence. In 2 weeks, I'm up £2,000 by Neil D. Now, most of the times, the things that stop us is fear, the false evidence appearing real. The reality is, guys, I've shared with you a lot of information here that you can go away and use, and you have a choice. Okay, you are free to choose. I've basically done, I believe I've done what I've said I'm going to do, and I've delivered what I've promised. And now you have to decide whether you want our help to build this step by step, or whether you want to go it alone and try and figure it out all on your own. So essentially the slower, harder way, spending hours with trial and error, wasting time and money to try and find a formula that works, or the easier, faster way with a proven roadmap to follow from someone who's been where you want to go and offers the smartest and quickest way to succeed. Now, we can greatly accelerate your learning curve to start getting results like many of our students have. The reality is, guys, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Okay, you will have to learn a set of skills, but with these skills, especially in this asset class, and especially right now, this has the potential to get this for you so fast, where you have more time with your family, more money, more freedom to do what you want when you want. So guys, if I may take 5 to 10 minutes to share with you the Crypto Like a Pro trading system. If you are happy to listen through, please stay on. Of course, if this is not for you, or if you're already on the program, please feel free to, to leave in as nicer ways as possible. But if this might be of interest to you, I'd like to take 5 to 10 minutes, guys, just to share with you this opportunity, and then you can make that decision, like if it's right for you or not. Okay, guys, so I'm assuming whoever's staying on wants to hear the opportunity, and I will, and at the end, guys, we will take your questions, whatever questions you've asked and whatever questions you've got, so stay on just to even have your questions answered. So let's go through and show you what you get with this. So the Crypto Like a Pro trading system. So here's what you get. You will get a mixture of live and online based training to help you get an edge in trading cryptos. You'll see how I professionally manage my crypto portfolio to maximize long and short-term returns. You will learn how to spot key buy and sell zones so that you can catch turning points before everybody else. You will find out my exact methodology for tracking and trading over 50 crypto coins, spending less than 1 hour a day screen time. You will discover my momentum strategy to trade cryptos that are ready to rip higher or lower. You will identify my trade and risk management strategy using volume profile and VWAP to maximize our ROI. Each fortnight, you'll get live coaching and group mentoring to accelerate your learning. You'll also get live monthly analysis for me to show you what we should be expecting from the markets and what trade setup that I'll be using. These are amazing. Like, people get great results just from these monthly analysis sessions that we do. Okay, so they're very, very popular and very, very useful to put the theory into practice. Now, you're also going to get some of my trade ideas and support via our exclusive Crypto Traders Club, which will be run privately on Facebook. So here's a breakdown, a summary of all the things you get on the program. So you're going to learn how to identify hot opportunity signals to get in before the crowd. Money and risk management, a key component. You're going to learn the 3 different strategy phases, so momentum, reversal, consolidation, how to manage your portfolio to make the most of the compound effect, how to use leverage correctly to get rapid account growth, mean reversion strategies, the best crypto indicator combinations and multiple time frame analysis, how to use order flow to identify key areas of demand and supply to get the best entries and stop placements, how you can spend less time in front of the screen and never overpay for a coin, how to swing trade to catch big moves with less screen time, less than 60 minutes needed, how to day trade to be able to catch more moves in both up and down markets. So you'll get 3 hours of live market analysis with me. Apply in real time what you're learning throughout the Crypto Like a Pro system. So this runs on a Saturday between 12 and 3 p.m. every month, and British Standard Time. So if you're based somewhere else in the world, if the hours are really crazy, we still get people waking up at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, but you will get the recording immediately after if you can't wake up for it, if you are based somewhere else, or if you can't make it. And basically what we're doing here is we are hunting for trading opportunities and we are setting up the month. So what do we think is going to happen next on Bitcoin this month? Where are the opportunities? And then we also go in and look for trades to take in the session. So the fortnightly Q&A support. So you join us on Thursdays where you will get a live session between 12 and 1 p.m. to answer any technical questions that you have. Okay, as well as the trading support that you get anyway. So you get the support in the group, but this is more like coaching, right? So if you're struggling with something, you didn't understand a particular topic or subject, this is what this is for. And we go through and you get to listen to other people's questions as well. And it's great, it's interactive. You also get all the online recordings of all the live training from the Crypto Like a Pro. So now you can go back through any part of the Crypto Like a Pro trading system whenever you like, in order to keep increasing your knowledge and solidifying all the skills that you have learned during your training. You'll get 3 months VIP group membership. This is where I post some of my crypto trades and market analysis in this private group of students. Here will also continue to learn and share your results as you continue to implement the program. You'll get my trade tracker sheet. So you'll need to be organized. You need to keep track of your trades while you're entering your trades. So you'll get my sheet that I've created specifically for cryptos of basically how I manage them and how I learn from my trades. During the 3 months VIP group membership, not only will I personally show you how I fish, but I will also teach you how to fish for yourself. This is important and critical really for your long-term success. This is why I'm limiting the number of people who can sign up to a maximum of 50 on this intake. Okay, so that you get the service and attention that you need, because you're going to need support and you're going to need help, especially if you're a beginner. Okay, so it's going to be a learning curve. You're also going to get this beginner bonus. So if you are a beginner and you're thinking, wow, this stuff sounds really advanced, I don't know if I can understand it. The truth is, some of this stuff is advanced, but you should be happy about that. You should be happy about that, because we don't want to give you a basic program and then say to you, hey, you're going to need to do a more advanced program. Instead, we have given you a beginner bonus section where we will go through some of the core things that you need to know, like how to set up your charts, the brokers, you know, the basics like trend lines, support, resistance indicators, chart patterns, to ensure that you're ready to hit the ground. Now, if you're intermediate, advanced, and you're looking to do the program, you won't need to do this section. Okay, it's in the bonus section. It's really more for beginners, but of course, you're more than welcome to kind of refresh what you know. In addition, anyone taking action in the next 48 hours is going to get my top crypto hot list. So these are the cryptos that I'm invested in and that I believe in, and I accumulate over time, and I keep accumulating now. I've done tremendous amount of research, and you're just going to get it all within this document given to you for anybody taking action within 48 hours, and we are strict on that. So this is everything, guys. You will get my complete trading system, a value of £8,276 for just £1,297. Okay, that's it. Now, if you are a little bit tight for cash, you can also take on a payment plan. So the payment plan consists of 3 times £497. Okay, so you end up paying a little bit more, but if that kind of gets you over the line, then you have that option as well. Of course, if you have the funds and this is something you're interested in, then you can pay the full amount. Now, this is also really important to me personally, that you get a full 14 days money back guarantee. Now, what a lot of firms do is once you open and you log in, your 14-day money back guarantee is no longer valid because you've opened the product. And I get why they're doing that, because there's going to be people that take advantage of this. They're going to just try and consume the information and, you know, ask for their money back. Look, if that's you, you're not going to get very far in life, right? So we want to take the risk on you, and we're not going to limit your access, and we're not going to stop you asking for a refund. If you genuinely open up the program and you start going through it and you start joining, you know, our sessions and you get into the group, if you can't see that this is for you, you can ask for your money back. But we just ask for having integrity, and, you know, we want you to fully commit and join us with the right intentions, because we are really I've given up so much to create the content in an easy to understand fashion so that anybody can get the kind of results that our students have shown. And we want to basically bring in like-minded people that can help within our community, that we can all grow together and all of us make more and more money and succeed together. So, but we have that there for you to really help you and to protect you in case you do change your mind and it's not right for you. Okay, so that's kind of, hopefully that clarifies that. So the additional thing here, guys, that I want to mention is we are doing another 48-hour bonus. So I mentioned the crypto hot list, but for anybody that signs up into this program within the next 48 hours, starting from when we finish this presentation, you will basically get an additional masterclass included. So 3 hours of trading analysis with me, and you'll also get an additional 2 fortnightly Q&A sessions included in your program. So that's a real value bonus, and I'd really highly recommend it if you're planning to join us. Now, I'd like, if one of the guys has the link to the program, that would be great. If you can just post it in. I think if that's not already been done, and then you can go to that page right now, guys, and you can register. Here are the dates that we've got. So you may want to take a screenshot of this, maybe take a picture with your phone. We can, of course, send it to you, but just if you want to have it right now. So your live market analysis, the next ones are on the 28th of August, on the Saturday, between 12 and 3 p.m. And then on Saturday, the 25th of September, between 12 and 3 p.m. And then we have the weekly Q&As from the 11th of August, 25th of August, 8th of September, and 22nd of September. If you can't attend one of them, we can you can speak with one of the team, and we can potentially put you on another one if you kind of explain. But you will get the recordings, guys, and you can send in your questions. So for most people, they don't need to be put on another one because then they're with another group, and it's always better to stay within the same group that you joined with. So essentially, you can fire your question ahead of time, and then I will basically break it down, and you'll get the recording anyway. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So this is it, guys. A total value of £10,776 of true real value, that is, for just £1,297. Okay, so if this is something you are interested in, I wouldn't hesitate. It's an amazing deal, and honestly, we've been told by our students, not just by us, that this should be 3 or 4 times that price. That's how much value there is. So you know, and I'm confident we're not going to be able to keep it at this price for very long. So if you want to join and access the bonuses, you need to do that within the 48 hours. So you'll get the Crypto Like a Pro trading system, the 6 hours live trading analysis, 4 weeks live Q&A and coaching, all the live training and recording, 3 months VIP group support, the beginner bonus program, crypto trade tracker sheet, my complete crypto trading list. And as we said, it is for a limited time and for the next 50 people. Okay, so here are the results from some of my other crypto students. And we'll get to the questions, guys, in just a minute. So if you do have any questions, you will give us 2-3 minutes and you can start firing off your questions. So Fred Martin here took the trade on Chili's, was a bit conservative on my take profits. I didn't reach the full potential of what could have been made. I've now made back the cost of the course in my first week of crypto trading. Julie here put crypto course will be fully paid in a bit. $467 bagged. Ching. Now here's some of my students back in 2019 when we were allowed to be this close without masks. Yeah, it was great times in our offices here in London. So here's Rob, one of our very, very successful students who's managing multiple accounts now. He put, I took a 3-month in-house course with Andy in April 2019. I took a massive risk by leaving my job and investing a lot of money. A year down the line, I now have multiple streams of income, flexibility to trade whenever I want, and the knowledge to and practice to only need to spend 20 to 30 minutes a day on the charts. Andy's course gave me all the tools and knowledge I needed to succeed. And that combined with the endless hours I spent reviewing the charts and trading demo accounts, I'm pleased to be able to share that I'm trading multiple 5-figure accounts. I've increased my income significantly, had a 5-figure month in December, perfectly in time for Christmas, and I'm on my way to trading 6-figure accounts and going full time. I have Andy to thank for it all. And Salo here put trading with the RTR rules has finally allowed me to get profitable after so many years of trying by myself. And Thomas Hoyle, London Trading Institute provides the perfect framework for aspiring traders, teaching you real actionable strategies. After doing the career course, I've gone on to become a full-time trader. So join me today. And if you go through my training and don't believe that you can stay committed to learning and applying these trading techniques, then simply let me know within 14 days of purchase and I will 100% return your investment. No questions asked. I promise this course works if you will. So guys, you have to make a decision now. And we're going to get into the questions. You can go back to life as usual, or you can make this a defining moment. This is everything we've kind of put on the line. Gavin, do you want to kind of come in and share with me the questions that we have? The link is in the group, I believe, guys. You should have it. So hopefully you can see it in the chat. Let me just keep that there and I will put my video back on and see what questions people have and see how we can help.
There he is. There he is. So
really.
yeah, Dan's already posted the link to the order form. So for those of you that are ready to proceed now, just click on the link in the chat and you can go straight there and take the necessary action as you wish. We've got a few questions that have come in. So firstly, thank you to everybody that stayed till the end. We want to make sure that we answer your questions. So if you have got any other questions that you want to put in, just start typing them in now. I've taken a few photos of some of the questions. Want to say hi to Leroy. He put at the beginning that he's advanced in FX, but he's a beginner in crypto trading. And this leads in nicely to a question that we get quite a lot, which is, well, if I'm already trading FX, why should I trade cryptos?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I trade FX still, but I also trade cryptos because it gives you, I mean, they work, markets are markets, but the participants are different. The things that work in cryptos are different to what works in FX. So the strategies that I use in my cryptos is completely different. But the key thing really, what crypto trading does, and it gives you another, it diversifies your risk, and it gives you another opportunity to make money. So sometimes if the FX markets are not doing much, cryptos might be, and the other way around. So I think it's great, especially if you are advanced. It's even better in many ways, because if you're like me, FX doesn't really take a lot of brain power. Like, I know my setups, I set everything up, and I take them almost without thinking. And so, and it also allows you to use some of your skills in crypto, but then you have to adjust your strategy, which is what I kind of said in the presentation. Before I could teach this stuff, I needed to prove that it works. What I'm doing works. You know, I know I can confidently teach FX because I've done it for 18 years and I've got a track record to prove it. But with crypto, because it's a newer asset class, as you know, Gavin, it's really important to me that we teach what we do. Simple as that. We don't just teach textbook stuff. So, and you know, the opportunity in crypto is much bigger than FX today, if I'm being honest. So it's a no-brainer to get into this space, especially if you're advanced in FX.
Cool. Andrea is saying, what do you mean when you say put into spot?
Yeah, great question. So sorry about that. I should have explained that. So spot is basically when you're buying a cryptocurrency without leverage, without borrowing. So it's, unless the cryptocurrency disappears, like it goes to zero, it's as safe as it can get, right? Because even if you don't time the market, so if I buy, let's say I buy Bitcoin at 40,000 today, and then it goes down to 20,000, but then goes up to 100,000, well, I've made 60,000. At some point I was down 20,000, right? So, but because it's in spot, I keep my position, okay? And eventually it recovers. When you're trading with margin, with leverage, you have to time the market. But as I showed in the case study, if you recall it, if you want, or go back and watch the recording, you have to wait for the right entry, and then you can make 5, 6, 7x very quickly. So Bitcoin goes to 100K, you might make 3 or 4x. We could do that with a trade on Cardano tomorrow, like that. That's the difference with trading. By borrowing money, we don't need to, and so that hopefully that makes sense.
Cool. And this ties in nicely. We get a lot of questions from people that are new. So for those that are new to cryptos and trading and investing in general, but maybe they're a bit apprehensive about the markets, maybe now's not a good time. Everything in the news is like kind of doom and gloom, cryptos 1 minute and then up the next. What would your message be to those guys?
You can't listen to what's in the media. You can't listen to what's in groups. You have to think outside the box. The first thing is, from an investment point of view, this could be, I think this is the most life-changing opportunity that there is, right, that there's ever going to be in our lifetime, no matter what your age is, even if you're 20 years old. This is big. This is a big transformation in everything, in the way we do finance, in the way we do everything. And we are literally at the beginning stages. I mean, this is not mainstream. You're not going to Costa Coffee and paying with Bitcoin. I mean, and Bitcoin's been around, right? So this is the beginning. Yet, exactly. And you're not, the kind of volatility that you're going to see in cryptos now, in 3 years, you're not going to see. The opportunities now, like right now, like that's what I'm saying, where in FX, it's great. You take a nice trade, you make 1-to-1, 2-to-1 reward to risk. In crypto, the equivalent is a 6-to-1, because it's like I get in and then like bang, it's gone. And it's like, what? Didn't even that. What happened? Literally, that's what happened the other day, mate. It was like, I got in, I ran upstairs, I put my trade on, I went down, and once I kind of dealt with kids and whatever, I looked at my phone. I was like, what? What is going on? It just went bang, down, out, and profit hit. You don't get those kind of moves unless there's a big news event in FX and whatever. But generally speaking, this happens all the time in crypto. So the volatility is explosive. So if you match high quality technical analysis, the way we analyze the markets with that volatility, it's just this, you can make a lot of money with low risk. That's it. And in FX, you have to do more risk to make more money. That's the difference. And I love both, by the way, just to be transparent. FX is, I'm here because of FX, so I can't,
Peter's saying, with $500, how much do you think someone can actually trade with margin? So I guess that means if they're starting off with a $500 account.
Yeah, I mean, if I was you, I mean, I know like a good example is what the example I showed of Tony there, who turned $500 into 7K in about 2-3 months. But he started off slowly. So he was risking about $10 a trade. So it's not about, Peter, it's not about the amount of leverage that you use. It's how much you're risking per trade. So the leverage will allow you to open up a bigger position size. However, you should always limit the amount of risk. So if you're really got a really tiny account, then if you do $10 a trade, that's a good starting point. And you can just slowly grow it from there. So you could, with $10 a trade, you can eventually get it to $1,000, $2,000, and then look to grow it a bit more. But of course, I just want to be transparent. Obviously, when you've got a smaller account, you're risking more as a percentage per trade. So the risks are a little bit higher. So ideally, you want to have an edge. You want to prove that your system works first. So if you're not going to be working with us, for example, I wouldn't risk money at the beginning. I'd build the system out, test it on a demo account, and then put real money at risk.
Cool. Have you got a couple time for a couple more questions?
Yeah, we can take one or two more.
Great. So Steve is saying, what is the best place to set up alerts if this is through Binance, or just in general, what would be the best place to set up alerts to monitor the opportunities that they're going to be able to find with this system?
Yeah, great question. So there's a few different things that you can use. My preference is to use TradingView, but there is other software. There's free software as well, but I like TradingView, and I love it because, like, I used to spend so many hours in front of the screens, and now I'm just doing other things, and then I get my alert. I come to my screen. I look, and I've got everything organized. So that the key thing is like learning how to put all the correct things in your alert. So don't just put an alert, oh, it's hit this price. That means nothing. You're not going to be able to make money doing that. You need to put every single level of detail with pictures. And that takes, at the beginning, it takes a bit of time, but now it takes me maybe a minute, 2 minutes to do. And so I could look at the picture. To be honest, I didn't even need to run upstairs. I could look at the picture and the notes on my phone and take the trade. But I always prefer to look at the PC and just make sure that I'm, before, because I'm taking, risking real money. But yeah, I mean, TradingView, to keep it simple, is like, but you need to do it properly if you're going to do it.
Great. And then this kind of ties in with that question, but it doesn't, just to separate it, obviously with what's in the news, with Binance and banks not accepting payments. Terry wants to know, what is the best suitable platform to trade with if they're gonna go down this path and start learning how to trade cryptos?
Yeah. Terry, if you're in our group, I posted a link. You can check the announcements tab. FTX. I'm trading through FTX. I've still got my Binance account. Now I'm really happy so far with what I've experienced. If you go through the link that I've provided, you get money off your trading fees. I can't remember exactly what it is. I put it in the link. But open up an account with FTX. But what's important, I don't know what level you're at, Terry. I think you might have said intermediate. But basically, make sure that you set, well, of course, this is up to you. But if you're based in the UK, you have to say that you're a professional, not retail. If you say you're retail, you won't be able to proceed. So it's kind of a self-declaration. So you're basically saying, I understand what I'm doing. Now, if you are a beginner and you don't know what you're doing, don't open up an account. But if you actually do know what you're doing, or you're coming onto the program, then you have to say you're a pro. Otherwise, if you're in the UK, they won't let you proceed to open up the account. But I'm really happy with my experience with them.
Awesome. Dan's just posted a link to the guys at FTX. So that's that. So you can go and check those guys out. And I've just posted a link again for the link to the order page. So that's the last couple of questions that we said we were going to do. Is there anything you want to say to anybody who is still on the fence? Maybe they're not sure if now's the right time. Maybe if you know, with everything that's going on in cryptos, do you want to kind of give a last message before we bounce?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously you have to kind of look at your own situation and make a decision if this is something you want to do. But what I can say is the investment that we're asking for is a really, really low investment, especially compared to what you can make. But also you're learning from real professional who's done this for a very long time at the highest level that you can get to in these markets. You know, to be trading for a hedge fund, to be managing $200 million is not something that a lot of people have been able to do. And then to transition and take a modest amount, well, I say modest, I know 30K is not a small amount for a lot of people, but 30K and turn it into about 300K in 5-6 months. And then most importantly, know when to, so by having the right strategy and investing it rather than just keeping it and holding it, you know, of course, even when you invest it, when the market drops, your portfolio does reduce, but it allowed me to keep most of what I made, and now I'm in a great position for the long term. So basically right now, in my opinion, it's an absolute no-brainer to learn the things that I do to make a consistent income every day. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, I'm in profit on my trading. I then take those profits every month. I move them into the investments, and I keep buying and buying and buying, and then storing, move them off the exchange. If you do that, if you do this process, in the next 6 to 12 months, you should be in a position where over the next 2-3 years, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but I think a lot of people will be retiring that are in our group. That's how strongly I feel about what's going to happen once this becomes mainstream. So even if you set a 5-year plan, you know, it's once this, you know, think about what if you could go back in time and invest in Google, in Amazon, in Microsoft when the internet got started. I think it's bigger than that. So that kind of gives you an idea of the scope of where I think cryptos are going to go. So if you are remotely interested, even I highly recommend that you at least give yourself that opportunity. Remember, we have a 14-day money back guarantee. So if you've got any doubts about that, and you can go on to, if you want to kind of get some independent views, if you don't know the London Trading Institute, you can go on to Google us, have a look and see what other people are saying. You can see we have amazing feedback, reviews. You can even go into our group and ask other students. So you're learning from real professionals that have your best interests at heart. So, and we'd love to work with you. So that's kind of all I wanted to share this evening, guys. I think we should end. I know you guys are all probably tired as well. The link is posted, so you know when you're ready, you just need to join, and we'll see you on the other side.
Perfect. Great stuff. So yeah, wherever you're watching around the world, even the guys on the replay, we know quite a lot of people couldn't make it tonight. The 48-hour clock, the timer is counting down. So it's up to you. We've done what we said we were going to do. We've given you all of Andy's information. Here is the offer. We know a lot of people are interested. If now's the time for you to take advantage of it, then you've got 48 hours and counting. Depends on when you watch this timer. But like Andy said, we are quite strict on that 48 hours. And yeah, have a great day wherever you are. If you're over this side of the pond, if you're over near closer to Andy, then have a good evening. And we look forward to speaking to you over the next few days.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you all. And yeah, like Gavin said, enjoy your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are.
We're international. We're international these days, mate. It's hard to keep up.
That's it.
Great stuff. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care, guys. See you soon.